Hello folks, and welcome to Telling Tinder Tales, the show where people get to tell their interesting dating stories with me, Chris O'Neill.
And me, Thomasin Lockwood. We have two guests calling in today. They'll tell their tale and then we'll ask them some questions about it.
So Thomasin, who have we got calling in today?
Yes, let's say hello to our two guests. So starting off, we have the amazing actress and comedian Helen Lederer. Trying not to fangirl here because I love Absolutely Fabulous. That's just among one of the many things that she's done in her career. Helen, it's really great to meet you.
Well, I'm thrilled to be on this romantic forum.
That's a new way of putting it. I like it.
Yes.
So thank you, Helen. And who else have we got?
We also have Dunstan Kesseler, who is also an Absolutely Fabulous... No, Dunstan is a marketer working all around the world. I'm sure he's very respected in his field too. Can't wait to hear all about him. Dunstan, hi.
Hey, good evening. How are you, everyone? I'm very happy to be third wheel in this exciting journey that we're on.
Wouldn't have it any other way.
Okay, right. So I think we'll start with Helen. Helen, have you a story to tell about dating or relationships?
Well, I do have an anecdote that is true, but because I'm so old, I mean, I'm older to be the grandparents of all the talented people in this group today. They hadn't invented Tinder. Have any of you heard of something called Lonely Hearts? Is that familiar with you?
Yes. Yes.
So my tale begins in a journal called Time Out. Do you know what Time Out is? Time Out's a magazine that puts modern comedy programs in the 90s when you were, Thomasin was, born probably. And bless her, because she's very funny. Now, so I was single at the time, living in North London. So my mother and my sister were visiting my flat in North London, and the phone went because we had telephones in those days as well. So it was a ring. And on the other end of the ring was a man. I'm going to call him Ralph simply because I can't remember his real name anyway. And Ralph, somehow, what you do is you see an advert, you're given some information, you contact them, and then somehow you're in contact. Okay, just go with this. But I know it sounds complex, but there's longhand, everything. So anyway, so I obviously had to pretend to my sister and my mother that I wasn't desperate, which of course I was, to either respond to an advert or place one, and we still don't know which is which. Anyway, so I then had to meet said Ralph I hate it when people say that. That's so pretentious, said Ralph. Anyway, I'm just saying that because I'm trying to make it interesting, because I can't quite remember all the details, because it was a long time ago. Anyway, so met person in pub in Hampstead. Man was carrying a Guardian. I think there's a kind of touch of irony or not, I don't know, but to identify the man. And off I went. Located the newspaper, followed by the man who was holding the newspaper, which was obviously for me. And then I remember I told a lie. I don't tend to lie because I'm quite honest person, but he assumed that I'd been to Sussex University, and I wish I had. Do you know what I mean? I went, yeah, and I hadn't been to Sussex. My A-levels weren't good enough. So then I knew immediately, no romance. Nothing, nil point. I just knew. But because I'm brought up well and a people pleaser, I just, just was polite and chitty chat. Somehow we ended up in a restaurant going down Haverstock Hill, which had great big windows. And I ended up having a meal with him, which I didn't want, just because I didn't know how to kind of politely say, well, that's been marvellous. Off I go back to Finsbury Park to my single flat. So then horror, man, takes my hand. And so I'm in a great big window with my hand being held by Ralph. I didn't want my hand to be held by Ralph, but because I'm so polite, I just left it there with my hand being attached to him for quite a long time. And this was on the first date. And people were walking up and down, and I was actually a stand-up at the time, but let's say I wasn't in any danger of being recognised. But it was nevertheless still embarrassing to be seen by anyone having your hand held by someone that was wrong. During the window situation, there was mention of a wife.
That's worse than saying you went to Sussex, I might argue.
But Thomasin, by then, I knew that nothing was flowering between us. And so the fact he had a wife or he didn't have a wife was immaterial at that point. Do you know what I mean?
Oh.
And we just thought, why are you doing this? Well, I can, my wife doesn't, it told a tale, didn't it?
Mm.
And then, of course, years later, I met him and it was just so embarrassing. Can you imagine? So you couldn't then just go, hi. Do you remember when you held my hand? It wasn't a horrible gesture, but it was just an awkward gesture, because why would you do that when you just met someone? But so it was just awkward. Everything about it. So all the hope, all the excitement, all the adrenaline. I hope I'm spinning this. I may have been talking for an hour now. But what I'm saying is there's a wonderful thing to answer a lonely heart's ad. I think it's the most exciting thing in the world. But mostly it leads to disappointment.
Oh, that was great. That was a great story.
I'm sorry it's ended so flatly for you.
Oh no! Listen, we hear the good, the bad, the ugly. To be honest, it's interesting, right? What you say about hand holding. Why would you hold a hand on the first date? Because I do think holding hands is a very intimate thing. For me, I think sometimes it's more intimate than a peck on the cheek.
Yeah, no, it is. It is. No, it's commitment, isn't it? But it takes two to hold the other. Because I could have withdrawn it, but I didn't. It just left it there limply being held
in front
by a
of
stranger.
the eyes of everybody on the street. I have to say, you're referencing everything that is here in our times, like time out. I just like how you're like time out, if you've heard of it. The telephone, if you've heard of it. When you said, the pub in Hampstead, I thought you were going to be like, if you've heard of what a pub is. If you don't know, it's a thing in the 90s where...
Have you been to a pub ever, Thomasin? Yeah. Do you do that?
What's the name of the pub in Hampstead? I might have been to it.
I think it was there's a Spaniards Inn, and then there's another pub, and Jack Straw's Castle.
I have seen a couple of men in there reading their Guardians. So I think my question is, what would you have done if you hadn't been able to recognise it? Because did he say, you'll recognise me from the paper I'm reading?
I think it was for the best, because not being mean, but had the person described, I know this sounds cruel, but I know oil painting, had described the physicality, it may not have been an allure for me if it was in a narrative. If I'd read it in prose, I might have thought I might have done what you do now, which is swipe or not swipe. You know what I mean?
Might have swiped right with your actual hand.
Yes,
no,
you know best on that. Okay. But no, because I'm unfamiliar with it. I was asking people today in rehearsals about Tinder, and everyone explained it, and I still didn't get it. But it was best that the description was not offered, and that's why the Guardian under the armpit or whatever was very useful.
I'm baffled by one thing, Helen. The Guardian, it's a reasonably popular newspaper even now. It would have been a bit more popular in London then, I think, because more people bought newspapers. Was there not a risk that you could have ended up with someone else?
Oh, very good. Oh, Chris, yes. Oh, my goodness. Now, that would be a wonderful thing. Well, if only. But
if only.
My life might have taken a different course. But that is quite funny. That's a lovely idea for a sketch, isn't it? Going into the Spaniards Inn and like four people all holding the Guardian in an expected manner.
Just go for the best.
Who do I choose?
Go for the best looking one, I suppose.
The best, I think, because we're shallow, and there's nothing wrong with that.
I have had someone tell a Tinder tale in the live show where they had inadvertently sat down with the wrong person, and so did another person. So it was only after 25 minutes that each of the two couples realised they were with the wrong person.
No.
And that happened in Tinder with pictures. So with the Guardian, it would have been easy and simple.
How did that get resolved? How did
I think they had a foursome.
Yeah.
Well, that's all over the television now, isn't it? We're being told how to do it. Although threesomes are preferred, I think.
Yes. I think when I say they had a foursome, I mean they had a few drinks together as a group.
Oh.
That's what I mean. I don't think they immediately proceeded to bed. No.
Yeah. No awkward holding hands.
No, or anything, really. Yes, as far as I know. Anyway, so yes.
Dunstan, did you have any remarks, any questions, anything for Helen?
I'm perversely interested in actually where Helen did go to university, first of all, not having met the Grace of Sussex. I do, hit me.
Because it will disappoint. Are you braced?
Nothing like I disappointed my parents with my destination at university.
No, that's good. So I did not get the grades I should have done, Dunstan. I don't mind telling you. And I ended up at a polytechnic. I went to Hatfield.
I have another question, actually. So you said that you met up with Ralph years later.
I love the way you say Ralph, because you've made him real to me again. Thank you, Thomasin.
You're welcome. You've got to yes and these things.
Yes.
How did you come across him again?
Well, yeah, good question. It was some event, but I go to events. You probably do. I just go to events.
Nah, they don't let me in.
Do they not? Oh,
Nah.
I can help with that. Trust me. Now what would it have been? One of those charity things, events where people have to wear smart clothes, a bit of media, and also I think the look from Ralph to me was don't say anything, because of course Ralph was with the wife. Do you see what I mean?
I see.
His wife didn't understand him, which I'm told covers a lot of ground as a phrase.
So what did you talk about? Were you like, hello, and then immediately were like, oh, hi?
Yeah, it was, yes, and I'm quite good at this. People can't see this, but I'm just demonstrating my face. Hi. I'm just doing a face, hi, like that. So I'm quite good, and I expect we all are, just doing a quick smile and then moving on, which is what's required.
Oh, great. Okay, so disaster avoided.
The other question I had was,
Yes.
because Helen, I love the fact that you said you were quite embarrassed by the hand holding in the window. And I wondered if that is the height of the embarrassment of anything you've done in a window, or is there anything more embarrassing that you can share with us, with this select group?
I think, I haven't gone into the window arena, but when I lived in Eltham when I was growing up, opposite us were two drama students from the Rose Bruford Drama School, and me and my friend used to sort of peeping Tom them because we knew they were acting students, and it was quite arousing.
Oh.
And sometimes they would do fencing fighting. That's what students do at drama school. And so that was us looking into another window. But I promise you this, hand on heart, I've never derobed in front of a window knowingly.
Emphasis on the knowingly. Yeah.
One other thing, now you may not know the answer to this, Helen, but when you met him the second time, right, was he still with the wife who didn't understand him?
I'm pretty sure, and I'm making an assumption that was the original wife. Yeah, of which he didn't want to be told, as it were, that I was that person that he'd done, from the Time Out window in The Guardian.
Did you report him to the Lonely Hearts people?
No, but you're right, because that is possibly transgressing the criteria. But in those days, you just kind of go more on a kind of whim, don't you? You just go, you're lonely, I'm lonely, let's have hope. It's more innocent in those days.
No other stipulations.
No, just you're lonely, you're on your own for now.
Whatever you do, don't lie about having been to a university when you went to a polytechnic.
Exactly, and just get on with having a pint.
Because that's clearly the greatest sin available in the context.
Far worse than adultery. Yeah.
Right. Well, I think with that was great, Helen. Thank you very much. And I think it's time to move on to our next tale. So, Dunstan, whenever you're ready, the floor is yours. Tell us your tale.
Will do. Well, mine is hopefully what I guess the scriptwriters would call a meet cute. If I was writing a film, though, I wouldn't necessarily believe this. And Helen, don't take this personally, but the story starts with one of my good friends who is an actor. He was engaged to someone in the same profession. I was very excited. I was hoping with a certain amount of expectation to have a significant best man shaped part of this wedding. And then I got an email at work from my friend, and he said, look, we've set the dates. It's 2 weeks from now in Los Angeles. understand if you won't be able to make it. And I'm like, well, I'm coming. And if this is your way of avoiding a stag do, I'm sorry, but it's now going to be the night before the wedding. So, I get on a plane on a Friday. He's getting married on the Saturday. We've got 48 hours in Los Angeles. There's 5 of us there, including the groom-to-be, 5 British lads. And then we get a text message from the brother of the bride, who is also out somewhere else in Hollywood, and says, look, there's a bunch of us out here. Let's join the parties and have a bigger session. So we set sail to the legendary bar just off the Sunset Strip called, I kid you not, Big Wangs.
Can we, Mount, I just need to hear that again, please.
Big Wangs. Yes, you heard it right.
Wangs. W-A-N-G.
W-A-N-G-S.
Oh, sorry.
Yes. I'll see your Spaniards and I'll raise you a wang.
Oh my God.
And to be fair, this place was kicking on a Friday night. It was kind of a bit of spit and sawdust. So all these guys, actors and wannabes in Hollywood, all join us, and so we're having a whale of a time. And then the girl arrives. And she arrives with a friend of hers. She's got a text message basically saying, look, there's these 5 English lads all out tonight, one night only, target-rich environment.
What does that mean? Can you clarify?
It means that if she's in mind to meet handsome, charming or otherwise English gentlemen, then the belief was that some of these English gentlemen might be in the same frame of mind. So she arrives and I'm immediately smitten, and I can't quite work out what it is about her. It may have been the tequila. That was also something, a contributing factor. But then they ask her to do her showpiece move. And don't get excited, but if this, her face droops slightly, one of her eyelids droops, and she does this absolutely perfect impression of Drew Barrymore. And this is, at the height of Drew Barrymore's fame, I was and still am a huge fan, both of talent and looks, and so I am bowled over to the point where actually this is now becoming quite intimidating. I'm like, I've met my dream girl in Los Angeles. Equally, now the flip side of this is I know that she's done a quick kind of order ranking in her head of the 5 English guys who are out that night, and I know I'm not. I'm not anywhere near the top of her selection criteria. There is, but fortunately in my favour, one of them's getting married the next day. Two of the other guys are with each other. So that only leaves me and my mate who I flew over with. So after the party, there's the after party. So we go back to some house in Hollywood. There is definitely more tequila. At some point, there is one of the 2 girls is crying. At some point, I'm also recalled I'm standing on the roof of a car. I'm not entirely sure where that goes. And then there's basically just the 2 girls and myself and my mate who we've flown with. We go back to the hotel. I seem to recall the theme tune of the evening being Girlfriend by Avril Lavigne as well. Not proud of that, but it's a banger. And at that point, we get to the hotel, there's a few more drinks, and then the sun starts rising over the Hollywood Hills, and it's this perfect romantic moment. It's just that one of the girls is paired up with my friend, so it's like, I think this is going to happen. We won't go into too much detail after that, but put it this way, I don't get a huge amount of sleep before this big wedding the next day. I deliver what has got to be one of the worst best man speeches ever heard. Well-intentioned, but with very little vim and vigour. I gave her my number. She immediately lost it. Then on the Sunday, I get her number, because she wasn't at the wedding. I get her number from a friend who was at the wedding, and I text her again, and we start an email correspondence. Cut to 18 months later, she moves in with me in London, but telling me first of all that I must move out of the tiny flat above a sex shop on the Holloway Road. She will move in with me, just not there. And we've been married for 16 years and we have 2 beautiful daughters.
Oh, wow, that's
Right.
extraordinary. What?
Very
I didn't know
good.
it was going to end like that. Did anyone else?
It's
I thought
tremendous.
that'd be a disaster.
Apparently we are allowed to do happy stories on this show.
We are.
Oh, yeah.
They're actively encouraged. Yes. Yeah.
And you'd be surprised. You hear of some of the wildest things, and they're like, anyway, 16 years later, we're married, and you're like,
Right, exactly.
it's like,
Okay.
I was inside for 9 of those 16 years, but
Love it.
Your now wife. What can I ask you this? Was she in the acting business?
she was in the entertainment business. She was working as in a talent agency at the time. So
Does that
she was
mean
working
like
with an agent.
hostess work? Nothing wrong with that?
There is often the conversation, because people think we met on a stag do. There is often the conversation of like, did she emerge from a cake, or in a nurse's outfit?
Yep.
It's like, sometimes I won't deny that, just for my own S's and G's.
Oh, wonderful. Love it.
amazing.
I have one other question. Have you told your children that it was a condition of cohabitation that you were not living so near a sex shop?
No, they are yet to go deep into that. We were in that neck of the woods recently, a couple of weeks back, and I was wondering whether I should take them, but no. I think not inside, maybe just the outside. But I don't think they're there yet. They're only 11 and 9. I think there's a while to go before they're exposed to that.
Plaque on there. Obviously, you're very talented in your own field, not hostess work, but you wouldn't want a plaque on that sex shop, would you? Dunstan lived and worked here for 5 years or something.
Oh, it was longer than that, and I don't think. But I think so many people pass through there, Helen. I'm just like ships in the night.
Yeah.
Who's keeping count? Eh?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I love it.
My question is, I love how the Drew Barrymore impression is one of the things that really stood out to you. My question is, if she had said, "Now you do an impression back," what would you have gone for?
Man, God, it's often the one I go for, because obviously it's difficult to prove in this medium, but I'm the similar height and build. There's always a Stephen Merchant impression in there, which again, it's not a winner with the ladies, I have to say, and I think he would be the first to acknowledge that as well.
Yeah, and you probably have to explain a bit of the backstory. Like, right, so this guy, he wrote The Office, but he wasn't actually on The Office.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And he's not Gareth. But you're going to love it.
Yeah, exactly. You're going to love it. You're not going to love me, but honestly, I'll get you a box set. Then you'll really embrace it.
I think that, do you not agree? Do we not? That there's a sadness about imitating a comedian? Do you not think there's some sadness in that action, or not?
I mean, let's ask the comedians.
Yes, just that sadness. Why imitate a comedian? Anyway,
Have
sorry, I
you
interrupted.
ever had anyone try and do an impression of you?
Me? Well, I was told, actually, interestingly, that Jasper Carrot's daughter, who is very famous and clever, did one of me in the days when I was, doing things in that way. That I just thought, how bizarre, because obviously when one is doing something, you're just so busy doing something you don't. Well, I don't think anybody, going into my modest little hole now, I want this to be about Dunstan, but I'll quickly insert this. There was a sketch show called Naked Video, and 10 years before Bridget, I did monologues about a posh girl with a filofax, which none of you have heard of probably, but I still have one. And
I love a filofax.
Do you? Oh,
Yes, I
well, that's
do.
because we're comedians. That's what you have to have. But anyway, so can I jump in with my question with Dunstan? Because I don't.
Go ahead.
On the day of the best man speech.
Yes.
When you said it was bad, how did people react to you after you said, and anyway, the bride and the groom? What did people say to you afterwards?
Two things to say for that. Firstly, the father of the bride had delivered a speech where he'd called the groom by the wrong name, by the name of her previous husband.
No.
So whatever I did,
Oh.
It paled in comparison.
That's bad.
You're probably sitting there like, thank God.
Exactly, thank Christ.
It's awful, and you're like, phew.
Yes.
And actually, I think mine was reasonably well received because the heart was willing.
You said
it
well
was
intended,
just somewhat
didn't you?
meandering.
Yeah. Not sharp.
Not sharp. And there were a number of people who started giggling when I kept referring to me and my friend who I'd travelled with, to the point where people thought that also we were together.
Yep.
I think I maybe overplayed that card.
All right.
And also your now wife had lost your number.
She'd lost my number.
On
I also had
purpose?
bruises on my knees, which were unexplained.
That's what happens at Big Wang.
Always, yeah. Don't ask questions.
What happens at Big Wang?
Fortunately, it didn't stay at Big Wangs, right?
Yeah.
Probably wanted to get
What a
out
lovely
of
log
Big
line to
Wang.
that.
Anyway.
Yeah, proper weird. Anyway, good. Excellent. Very good. Okay. It's been fascinating,
Wonderful.
enjoyable and fascinating and nicely meandering, I think, which is good. Yeah, we've come to the end, more or less. First of all, folks, Dunstan and Helen, have you anything you want to plug or mention or whatever? We can stick copies of these in the show notes, but if anything you want to mention, if I come to you first, Dunstan?
I have nothing at all to plug, but I could plug my dad's memoirs.
Yeah.
Blair Kesseler. His name's Blair Kesseler, and I think he's written something called Unreliable Memoirs or Unreliable Memories, and that is available in no good booksellers, but probably somewhere on Amazon or maybe the dark web. I don't know.
And you couldn't quite remember the title, which was quite
I know, that's
touching.
not...
It's a long story, but he wrote a book full of all the stories I've heard for hundreds of years. He sent it to me. I've not read it.
Oh,
I'm sure I'll get round to it.
nice.
You're
Nice.
in-
I know
great-
the guy. I know all these stories.
You're in
This is a great
marketing,
review.
Dunstan. You're in marketing, Dunstan. I'm not sure you'd give
Yes.
yourself a passing
Yes.
mark for that. Anyway, Helen,
I
have
haven't
you
read it.
anything to tell us about?
I'm merely a suit.
Helen, have you
Yes.
anything to tell
so
us about?
my memoir that I can remember the title of is Not That I'm Bitter, some irony attached to the title, one hopes. And that is, the paperback is just out now, which is why it's a joy to be here amongst and share that information. I would love people to buy it. It's not very expensive, paperback, quite, and it has dalliances that are akin to Dunstan's and more. Shock, horror, alarmingly honest, good. And also I'm in Fawlty Towers on the West End. So
Impressive.
Which is a play written by John Cleese. Do you
Fantastic.
remember Fawlty Towers?
No, we
I
do.
Love
Yeah.
Fawlty Towers.
So-
and how long are you running in Fawlty Towers for?
To the end of September.
Oh,
Fantastic.
Right.
Yes.
This podcast will be transmitted during that run.
Hooray.
Excellent. Very good.
Absolutely. It's a great show as well, guys. So yeah, anyone who happens to be in London, go check it out. Well, thank you so much to our guests today. It's been really delightful, and thank you very much for listening. If you liked us, whatever platform you're on, please give us a like, a follow, a subscribe, and please do give us a review. Reviews really mean a lot to up-and-coming podcasts. Really helps with the algorithm pushing us forward. If you give us 5 stars, I will do my best Drew Barrymore impression for you. If you give us 1 star, I will hold your hand limply in a window for all to see. So you've been warned. Back to you, Chris.
Okay, so thank you very much. It's been wonderful. We are running a live show at the Edinburgh Fringe, and if you've enjoyed the show, we are on Instagram and other places. You've been a wonderful audience. Thank you very much, and thank you again to all our guests. Goodbye.
Oh, goodbye.
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 Bye.
Telling Tinder Tales is hosted and produced by me, Chris O'Neill, and Thomasin Lockwood. Produced and edited by Lucy Regan, with music by Kinkas Moreira. It's a Jesters Comedy Dublin production and is no way affiliated with or endorsed by Tinder. If you have a story to tell, please get in touch. Details are in the show notes. And if you like us, instead of swiping right, follow us on Instagram and or TikTok at Telling Tinder Tales.